We are reaching day 13 of the Iran-US-Israel war. Instead of showing any signs of abating or ending, it is becoming more intense, more fierce and more bloody by the day, by the hour. Where will it all end? The world is now at its wits' end as to this seems to be an Armageddon unleashed. It is easy to start wars. It is extremely difficult to finish them, as Donald Trump is finding out to his cost. To stop the bloodbath on the oil, on the stock market, on the oil markets, he called one of his favorite correspondents and told her that this is going to end soon. So that there was some relief in the stock market, some relief in the oil prices had gone up to $178 per barrel, the highest record number. Then it slid back to $130 a barrel because Donald Trump made that little hint of a promise that it's all going to end soon. I am in control. Sir, you are not in control any longer. Iran is saying we will not stop the war. We will not talk. The last 2 times that we talked, you stabbed us in the bloody back. You utilized the talks for a drama, a charade. You used them to build up forces to attack us. Attack us while the talks were on. Who can trust the United States after this? And I think Iran is in a way quite right in saying this. We've all seen this tamasha. So where is this war headed? Let me be candid. This Iran-US-Israel war will be one of the defining conflicts of the 21st century. It will determine, listen to this carefully, it will determine whether the world will slide back into unipolarity with the United States as the sole superpower and hegemon, or will the world see multipolarity now fully in play, multipolarity in full play. Which is it going to be? From the looks of things, America seems to be an empire in decline. It was quite mortally scared of the BRICS coming up as a challenger, as a bloc that challenges the petrodollar, that is posing a challenge to US hegemony, especially Russia, China, Iran. They have been outrightly hostile. They have been outrightly hostile to the American triumphalism that is on display. You see, what is troubling is this the start of a new colonial era? There were previous American presidents who had attacked Iran, Afghanistan, Libya, etc., but at the very least, they couched their language in terms of democracy, human rights, freedom, freedom of speech, expression, this, that, very, very comfortable sounding terms of, globalism, rules-based order, etc., etc. Donald Trump's rhetoric is pure Hitlerian. I will take what I want, I will smash, I will grab, I will kill, I will bomb, I will mutilate, I will kill civilians. No sin attaches to me. We heard no end of Bucha in Ukraine. 34 Ukrainians were killed, buried. Putin is supposed to be a war criminal. There are cases pending against him in the Criminal Court of Justice, International Court. What about, Sir, Meena, in Iran, where 168 girls have been murdered in cold blood? Little girls. What is their fault? Are they terrorists? They were studying in a school. They had gone to school to study, for God's sake. And you murder little girls, and then, you don't bat an eyelid, man. What guilt? What rule of law? What humanitarian gesture? You say you are trying to free the people of Iran by bombing them into happiness, by killing their little girls. What a way to free a country, man. Utterly amazing. And where does this rhetoric stop? Are you trying to get the world back to the colonial order? You will take whichever country's resources you need, you will just capture it, you will bomb it into happiness, submission, make it the 51st state of the United States. I'm sorry, you are living in a time warp, delusional time warp. I don't think the world wants to go that way. And you are not strong enough to drag it into that. So far, you were taking on pansy states like Venezuela, like Afghanistan, like Libya. Right? Now you will face, you have come to grief when you have fought a middle tier power. The next time you pick somebody your own size, you will be in serious trouble at this rate. Every missile that the United States is wasting in the Middle East will detract from its ability to take on China or Russia. Russia could easily intensify the Ukraine war now. And if I was China, I would choose precisely 3 months later, the month of August when the Met conditions are right, to go for Taiwan once and for all. Because by that time, all your anti-ballistic missile stocks would have been fired away, would have been exhausted, and your rate of production is not getting any better. You see, all this talk that I will carry out regime change. What regime change? Mujtaba, the son of Khamenei, is now the supreme leader in Iran. Well, that's a joke of a regime change, sir. Is this what you were trying to do? Is this what all this tamasha was about? It is utterly amazing. It is utterly amazing. But you were carried away with hubris, with triumphalism, with sheer arrogance. At least previous American presidents were dressing up their attacks on the third world with very nice verbiage on we are freeing them, we are going to bomb them to happiness and freedom. Bomb them to happiness and freedom, kill their terrorist girls. All Iranian girls are terrorists. Says who? Says who, sir? The simple fact is that Iran has retaliated in a very methodical, well-planned manner. Decentralized, delegate. They delegated the control of missiles and drones to the 31 Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps districts. Each has its own set of missiles and drones spread all over the mountains of Iran, deep inside the caves, underground cities. They first hit, listen to this, they first hit the eyes and ears of the American-Israeli anti-ballistic missile architecture in the Middle East. In Qatar, Al Udeid base, they hit a $1.1 billion phased array radar facility that is supposed to track any missile launch within 5,000 miles. 5,000 miles. There are only 4 such American radars, and one of them was here in the Middle East, which on day 1 the Iranians struck and destroyed with the help of their drones, with the help of their missiles. Right? And with this ANPS 132, ANFPS 132 radar, $1.1 billion cost. Khalas, finito. They have torn a hole in the skies. Previously, this phased array radar was giving a warning time of 10 to 15 minutes of any missile launch by Iran. Now the warning time has been reduced, sir, to 60 to 30 seconds. 60 to 30 seconds, and it takes time to detect, to react. The anti-ballistic missile capability of Israel, of America, is showing a marked precipitate decline. They next attack, the Iranians methodically next attack the fire control radars of the THAAD batteries. And as per the latest media reports, 3 THAAD batteries out of 7 are kaput, gone, finito. The rate of production of the missile, that missile versus anti-ballistic missile mathematical equation, was already skewed in favor of Iran. With each day that passes, the missile shield is becoming more and more prone to leakage. ठीक है? Iran has hit every American air base. Every American air base. They have hit the central command and control node, the forward headquarters of the central command, very hard in Bahrain. They have hit the 5th Fleet headquarters very hard. They have repaid the compliment by going in for command and control attrition, command and control targets. They have been going for Netanyahu. They have said we will try and get Netanyahu, and not just said, they have hit his office in Tel Aviv. Then he was taken to a bunker. There was some report that he had been put up in an aircraft because the ground was considered too dangerous, so that would constantly be changing position, would not be a sitting duck target kind of a thing. They have hit the Israeli Knesset. About 200 Israeli citizens unfortunately are dead. Israel has very little space, no space to trade for time. 475 kilometers north to south, 15 kilometers at the west. This is a dangerous situation. Against such a this thing, that is why we were concerned. That is why we were trying to caution our friends. But now the worst has happened, and there seems to be no end to the missile attacks. Initially, Iran used its cheaper missiles, subsonic, supersonic. The aim was to make Israel, United States fire off its interceptors, get low on interceptors. To stop every incoming missile or drone, you have to fire 2 interceptor missiles, 2 Patriots, 2 Thards, 2 Green Arrows. So how long is this stock going to last? It has already reached dangerous levels of depletion. Dangerous levels of depletion. For all the arrogance that Pete Hegseth is showing, he is trying to pose like some kind of a Attila the Hun or Genghis Khan, and he is trying to tell the American forces, don't show any pity, any remorse to these third world nations. Kill them, don't take prisoners. If somebody is drowning, shoot him in the head. Hell of a thing. You don't seem to have been, you don't sound like a professional soldier. He doesn't sound any which way a professional soldier. He sounds like some Gestapo thug. Gestapo thug. And the Gestapo never used to fight on the front line like the German armed forces, the German army. The Wehrmacht. They never spoke like this. It is these Gestapo thugs who spoke in this term. If there's a prisoner, shoot him, kill him, this thing, that thing. Are you nuts? Are you a psychopath? What are you trying to turn a decent cultured people like the Americans into? What language is this? What language is this? You are just trying to scare the third world countries into submission. You want to scare the BRICS into submission. I'm afraid the BRICS is giving it back. Russia, China, Iran are giving it back. North Korea is saying, I will supply missiles, possibly warheads to Iran. And if that happens, sir, we've all truly had it. Iran, you have made Iran so desperate that it does not mind committing national suicide. Their philosophy is simple, we'll go down, we'll take you down with us. They've already taken the global economy down, down, down. The stock markets, there is bloodbath, sir. How long do you want this bloodbath? Donald Trump, you decide. You started this, you bloody well will have to end it. Otherwise, the American people will settle accounts with you in the November midterm election.
As we mark the 13th day of the escalating conflict involving Iran, the United States, and Israel, the intensity of hostilities shows no signs of subsiding. Instead, the fighting has become increasingly fierce, bloody, and widespread, raising concerns about the potential for a broader regional and global crisis. Analysts warn that this conflict could define the geopolitical landscape of the 21st century, shaping whether the world remains under U.S. dominance or transitions toward a multipolar order. From the outset, the escalation has defied expectations of a swift resolution. Instead, each passing day witnesses new acts of violence, with Iran firmly rejecting any notion of ceasefire or negotiation. Iranian leadership has accused the United States of betrayal, citing previous talks as mere theatrics intended to mask military preparations. Iran's officials have openly stated that they will not halt their operations and have dismissed any diplomatic overtures, emphasizing their readiness for continued resistance. U.S. President Donald Trump attempted to quell fears of an uncontrolled escalation by reassuring markets that the conflict would soon end. He hinted, through a favored correspondent, that the situation was under control, which temporarily eased oil prices and stock market fears. However, the reality on the ground paints a different picture. Iran has made it clear that it will not back down, and its recent actions suggest a strategy of relentless retaliation. Iran's military has executed a meticulously planned series of strikes, targeting U.S. military bases, Israeli positions, and regional infrastructure. Iranian forces have launched missile and drone attacks on American bases in Iraq and across the Gulf region, including key command centers and naval assets. The Iranian military has also targeted Israeli military and civilian sites, including the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which was struck in an apparent attempt to threaten Israel's leadership. Iran's military strategy involves a decentralized network of missile and drone units operating from underground caves and mountain strongholds, allowing for rapid, dispersed retaliation. They have successfully destroyed high-value U.S. radar installations, including phased array radar systems worth over $1 billion, significantly reducing the effectiveness of American missile defense systems in the region. As a consequence, the warning time for missile launches has been drastically shortened from 10 to 15 minutes to as little as 30 to 60 seconds, exposing vulnerabilities in U.S. and Israeli missile shields. The Iranian response has been systematic and calculated. They have targeted American command and control centers, including the headquarters of the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, with precision strikes. Iranian forces have also launched a barrage of missiles at Israeli military installations and civilian areas, causing casualties and widespread damage. Notably, Iran has also targeted Israeli citizens, with reports of deaths and injuries, including strikes on Tel Aviv's military and strategic sites. The conflict has extended beyond conventional warfare. Iran has begun mining the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a vital global energy choke point responsible for approximately 20% of the world's oil trade. The strait has now been effectively blockaded, with insurance rates skyrocketing to 90% for ships attempting passage. Iran has also threatened to close the strait entirely, a move that could cause catastrophic disruptions to global oil supplies. Iran's missile capabilities have evolved rapidly. They have fired multiple hypersonic missiles capable of evading existing missile defenses. The USS Abraham Lincoln, a U.S. aircraft carrier deployed in the Gulf, was forced to retreat to the Gulf of Oman after being targeted by Iranian anti-ship missiles. The threat from Iran's missile arsenal, coupled with advanced Chinese and Russian missile support, has created a new paradigm of anti-access and area denial, A2/AD, in the region, severely constraining U.S. and Israeli military operations. Meanwhile, the United States continues to respond with retaliatory strikes and defensive measures. American military assets have been targeted, with significant damage inflicted on command facilities and radar systems. U.S. officials have acknowledged losses of aircraft and personnel, with ongoing concerns about the depletion of missile interceptors and the sustainability of their missile defense shields. Amidst this chaos, the global markets have suffered dramatic fluctuations. Oil prices, which surged to over $170 per barrel at the height of the conflict, have fallen back to around $132 after President Trump issued reassurances of a quick resolution. Yet, analysts warn that the situation remains highly volatile, with oil prices and stock markets likely to experience continued turbulence as hostilities persist. International voices have called for restraint, with Russia and China advocating for an immediate ceasefire and negotiations. Experts warn that prolonged conflict risks plunging the region into a new colonial era, where resource exploitation and military dominance threaten global stability. The conflict has also exposed the limitations of U.S. military supremacy, with Iran's decentralized, resilient strategy undermining American technological advantages.